As usual, everybody, you will be getting a certificate of attendance for joining us today. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today because, it's a strange time for everybody. And the fact that you've taken an hour of your time and joined us from all over the world, loads of different time zones joining us today, we really, really appreciate it. Sometimes we can't believe it, can we, James? But we thank you all for coming and joining us and learning a little bit more about collaborating on Wakelet. The reason why we've put this webinar together, and we think it's very timely because collaboration is really, really important right now. I mean, even at Wakelet, we've got some of the team working in the office, we have some of the team at home, and, we're really learning that collaboration is super important, especially when people are working remotely or when students are learning remotely. So hopefully at the end of this session, you should be able to get a better idea about how you can use Wakelet in a collaborative setting and how you can get the most out of Wakelet, so working together with your students and your learning communities. I do apologize, Susanna. I am speaking very, very quickly. I'll try and slow it down a little bit. Okay. So as usual, please ask any questions that you like in the chat box. We'll or use the Q&A. We'll try and answer them as best as we can. We may not be able to answer all of them, but please do ask away. And, as you know, with Wakelet webinars, really everything goes. Feel free to share your ideas and your feedback in the chat box. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will begin this now. We'll kick this off. Okay, I'm not going to ask if you can see my screen. I'm just going to assume that you can because I'm tired of saying that. Aren't you, James? Aren't you tired of saying, can you see my screen?
It's a thing we say often.
It is. Okay, so collaborating on Wakelet, how to engage your students through group activities. So this is what you're going to learn today. What Wakelet is, for those of you who are just joining us, we're going to whiz right through that really, really quickly because I know most of you probably know what Wakelet is. How to create and share a collaborative collection, how to create a space on Wakelet, and my favorite part, which is how educators around the world are using Wakelet to help their students and learning communities work together. Really important stuff. So for those of you who don't know what Wakelet is, completely free to use platform, and it allows you and your students to save, organize, present, and share any kind of content that they find on the web into these beautiful looking collections. Now, we are completely free for educators, completely unlimited. There's no price plan. You can only create 3 collections and then you have to pay to get more. It's completely free. So people tend to like that. I'm not quite sure why. And this is Wakelet explained in 3 steps. So step 1, save anything from across the web: articles, videos, blogs, tweets, docs, podcasts, drive files, anything that has a URL, you can save into a Wakelet collection. Curate and present. This is the fun part, right? This is where you can organize that content in a really awesome way, in a way that makes sense to you or your learning communities. You can add your own thoughts, add your own content, your own ideas, and just make your collection really meaningful and engaging. And the third step is collaborate and share. Collaborate is what we're going to be talking about today. So you can invite whoever you want to collaborate with you on a collection or in a space. Here you can share loads of different ideas, lots of different knowledge, feedback, anything that you want. And then you can share those collections with just a single URL, or you can share them throughout a vast amount of different integrations that we've got. Remind, Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, OneNote, however you think of, that's how you can share it, sorry, not save it. Now, this is the important part. This is very, very briefly the outcomes of collaborating on Wakelet. Okay, why would it be a good choice and a good decision to start collaborating on Wakelet? So the first one is a more engaged classroom. So one thing that we've found out when it comes to feedback from educators about using Wakelet in a collaborative sense with their classrooms, that their students are just more engaged. Their students feel like they're learning in a different way that they're used to doing it. And it's super engaging, not only because of the way the platform's designed, but also just how quick and easy it is for them to work together and see each other's work popping up on screen. Super engaging. Second is a fun, dynamic learning activity that works remotely and in person. Okay, so that's also really important. The collaboration stuff, which you're going to learn today, not only works really well in person, but especially well in a remote setting, because you just fire a link across, people can join it, and then you can all start working together in the same collection. Increase digital citizenship and storytelling skills, again, really important. Help students connect with each other and learn more about one another. And the last one is a quick, easy, and fun way to accomplish a number of different learning outcomes. Now, myself and James are not educators, so what we're relying on here is that as we take you along and show you how to use this, that all those neurons are going to be firing off in your brains, and you're going to think about these amazing ideas of how you're going to use it in the classroom. So if you're in the chat and you have an idea come to you, share it. If you're already using the collaboration feature on Wakelet, help somebody out, share how you're actually using it in the classroom as well. So that's it from me. I'm going to switch over to my good friend James, and James is going to actually take you through how to collaborate on Wakelet.
Yes, I will do. Real quick, there's been a lot in the chat of people saying there's been grey squares showing up on the screen and they're multiplying. So on your, did you have like the window open of like my face in the top right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be on Zoom now, like grayed out, so it blocks the screen.
I see.
So
okay.
I'll share my screen and let me know if it appears, Misbah.
Sure.
Because I know some people did see that and some people didn't. So
well, hopefully it gets better, but please let me know if it doesn't, guys.
Yep. How about on my screen? Is there anything blocking it?
No, I can't see anything blocking it.
Okay, very strange. If that happens again, let us know in the chat though. We'll try our best to rectify it if we can. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Misbah. Yeah, as Misbah said, collaboration on Wakelet achieves so many learning outcomes for your students, but can also be used with your colleagues as well. So what I'll do very quickly is go through a demo of how it actually works, and then Misbah will come back a bit later on and show you examples and ways in which educators, tech coaches, students are all using Wakelet to collaborate as well. So I'll start from the beginning with Wakelet. This is what Wakelet looks like. I'm sure many of you know what it's like. And of course, in Wakelet, you can create collections of content. So as an example, inside of this collection here about climate change, I have all these resources for my class. So I've got images in here, I've made videos, I've added text, I've added slides, I've added images, and so on and so on. And I created this myself. But in Wakelet, you can actually invite others to create that collection together. So it's brilliant for classroom research projects. So just as an example with the climate change resources, you could create a collection that's completely blank inside, no resources, and you could invite your class to all add their climate change resources to that collection. That way, you then have 30 to 40 pieces of content and everyone's collaborated together on that project. And there's so many other ways you can do it as well. As I'll show you now, it's super simple to do too. First of all, you're going to go create a collection just like normal. So click on that big green plus. And then as usual, go ahead and add a title, description, and your images to your collection. So for this one, me and Ms. were discussing ideas for what we could create. And what we've seen come up quite a lot is using Wakelet as a discussion piece, as like a classroom discussion, especially around social emotional learning, especially during these times when people are working remotely. So sort of stuff we've seen are questions that teachers would ask in a collection. They then invite their students to answer via text in the collection. And then at the end of the day, she'd see all, the teacher would then see all of the comments there. So in this case, I could say as a title, what makes you happy? As a question. Then as a description, to add a bit more context to this, I could say, hey class, hey, I want to know what makes you happy. So this could be anything they can add. They could then go ahead and add images of their dogs, pictures of their family, videos of their favorite artists, and so on and so on. And again, it's all around that social emotional learning aspect. This could be a great activity for the start of the week, end of the week, even as registration. It could be really nice to get everyone in, collaborating, and see how everyone is as well. Again, especially during these remote learning times. I'll go ahead and add a cover image first. Let's see, there's a nice smile face. That's a nice one of a dog, that's very cute. And then I will go ahead and add a background image as well. So background image, like so. And let's add a really nice one here. Let's add that one there. So you can see within seconds, we've made this collection now. And now, whilst you're editing your collection, all you need to do to invite your class or your colleagues is go ahead and click invite. So you see invite here in the top left. Click on invite, and now I can invite contributors into my collection to start adding content together. So as an example, I'll send this to Misbah. Misbah, let me know if you get this in the chat. It should go directly to you. You can go ahead and add some content, that'd be great. But I'll show you how it works. So with this link here, you'd go ahead and invite your class using the link, code, or QR code. Link is very simple. They just go ahead and click on the link and they'd open it up. And the best thing about collaboration in Wakelet, this is something that I don't know if many people know, is you do not need a Wakelet account to collaborate. So you can invite your entire class, your parents of your students, your colleagues into your collection to add content, and they do not need to have a Wakelet account. All they need to do is enter their name. And this, again, they're not signing up or signing in. This is so you know who's adding what content and which content to your collection. So I'll go ahead and add my name as I'm joining this collection. I'll click add. And you'll see now I'm inside of this collection. So I can see as a student now, my teacher wants me to answer the question, what makes me happy? And add whatever I like. And you see Misbah already has added a YouTube video here and some text saying he loves basketball. And I know Misbah, he does love basketball, that is true. So as the student now, I'd go ahead and click edit collection. And now I'm inside the collection, I can edit and I can go ahead and add some content. So you can see here already, Debbie Bourne, thank you, has added a nice image. As the student, they can go ahead and paste any web address from the internet. So they could link to a podcast they've been listening to. Again, they could link to some GIFs online, YouTube videos, and Misbah's done there of their favorite teams or artists. And they can also add some text. So they could just write back to you and say, what makes me happy? I say, my family. Like so. I'll put that in a heading as well. I'll even add an emoji too. Like so. And again, they can add much more. They can add images, upload PDFs of documents, say, create their own collection if they want to, add documents from Google Drive and OneDrive, and even add their own video as well. But yeah, hopefully you can see how nice this is as a discussion piece. One thing to note, this is really important to note actually, when your students are adding content, they can edit and delete their own work, and you'll see their name is underneath. You'll say added by James. They can edit and delete their own work, but they cannot edit and delete other people's work. So for example, with Debbie, I cannot edit and delete Debbie's now. I cannot edit and delete Misbah's, and the same with Misbah's YouTube video as well. And as you can see here, which has just popped up just on time, Chandan, thank you. It's in real time as well. So you'll see real-time submissions come into your collection as soon as you send it out to your students. So you can sit there and see that Chandan's added this on this date as well. And this is one thing that Tish, one of our amazing ambassadors, pointed out. You could set a sort of assignment for this, especially if it's registration for each day. Having that date there is super important for that. So you'd be able to know if the submission date was the 20th, then this would now be late inside the collection. So you can see Chandan, sorry, you'd be late. Misbah, you'd be late as well if it was set yesterday. So yeah, that is collaboration in a nutshell. Super easy to do. Like I said, you share or invite them, sorry, by the link, the code or QR code, and they can join in and add whatever they like. So I'll go ahead and click done now. And what I want to show you too is the permissions on this as well. So in permissions, if I go ahead and click done, I can see inside of manage contributors here, all of the people that are now in my collection. So all of these people are in my collection. Some of them I've added content, like Sleepyhead, they've added coffee, and so on. So we've got about 6 submissions here. You can see there 6 items. Now I can choose to make these contributors admins. So contributors, again, going over it, your students will join as contributors, your colleagues will, and they will, the contributor permission basically means they can edit and delete their own work, and they cannot delete and edit other people's work. If you change, for example, Misbah to an administrator, he will then be able to edit and delete other people's work as well. So you can set this for a supply teacher, a student in the class, or your colleagues, and you can all be admins of this collection. And then also, if you want to remove people for any inappropriate content or any submissions, or they're not supposed to be in the collection, just go ahead and click remove, and they will be removed from that collection like so. And if you want to actually remove people from the collection too, go ahead and generate a new link and code here, and this will reset everything. So people who are joining that collection no longer have that correct code, and they'll be kicked out of the collection too. So there's a few permission settings there that are worth noting. And Misbah, I think I've covered everything for collaboration there. Is there any questions that have come through on the chat?
Yeah, there's quite a few questions actually, which is always a good thing. The first one is from Hannah, who's just wrote in to say, just to clarify, contributors cannot delete anything, but administrators can. Yes, that's entirely right. So a contributor in a collection, which is somebody who just joins the collection or somebody you add, all they can do is add content to that collection. They can't delete other people's items. They can't edit other people's items. They can't edit the description or the image or anything like that. They can just contribute their own thoughts and ideas. Whereas a moderator is free to do all of that. Now, the reason why you have a moderator option on there is if you're collaborating with another teacher across 2 different classes and you wanted to invite that teacher to also be able to edit things and move around and leave feedback. Let me take a look. Gabriella, if you delete a contributor, does their contribution disappear? No, no, I don't think so, Gabriella, no. If you delete a contributor, they can just no longer contribute to the collection. You'd have to, as a moderator, go and manually delete that. A lot of people are asking if this will be available in a video. Yes, 100%. We'll have this uploaded in no time and get it sent out to you. And then there was a really interesting question as well. Let me just find it. One moment. Let's take a look. Okay, Maria asks whether we have a grid structure in a collection. Yes, we've got 4 different layouts, and you just click the layout button, and those 4 different layouts, which includes a grid structure, should be able to, I think James is going to show you now. Yeah, you just click on change layout and you can have compact view, which is just like links. You can have the grid view, which is what you're asking for. Really good to be able to actually compare different items together. And then you've got the mood board view as well, which is super engaging. It's a little bit on the, not very organized. It's not very linear, but a lot of educators like that because students enjoy that mood board type view where they can just add things and it's almost like a mood board. Let me just check if there's any other questions before we go on. Yeah, so Laura Dana asks, is there a way to put an expiration on the link? That's a really good question. This is something which a lot of people have asked us for and which we will be looking into doing. For the time being though, what you can do is you can send the link out and then once the deadline ends, you just go into the collection and you just generate a new link. What that means is that people will no longer be able to contribute to that collection through the link. So that's a little way to do it. It's a little manual for now, but we may be able to add things in the future that actually use at a time limit. But a lot of educators find that that's perfectly fine. Once the deadline hits, they just generate a new link. Nobody has that new link, so nobody can edit the collection. We have just a few more, and then I'll jump into some examples. Let's take a look. Had some very interesting questions today. I'm sorry if I've not been able to get to all of them. Elizabeth asks, can students create their own Wakelet without creating an account? The teacher's account collects all. Yes, 100%, Elizabeth. So what we have in Wakelet is this thing called sub-collections, okay? So let's say, for example, a student is, you don't want the student to actually create an account on Wakelet. Well, you just send them that collaboration link that James showed you. And then when they click the plus button to add content, they will find a little icon that says add a sub-collection. When they click this, they can add entire collections into that collection. It's a really, really neat thing. And again, they don't need to have any Wakelet credentials to actually perform that. So hopefully that should ask. Joanne says, is there a way we can approve a submission before it gets posted? Again, this is one of our most requested features. This is moderation. Moderation is in our roadmap. We're looking at trying to tackle that as soon as possible and get that out to everybody. But for the time being, we found that given that the students have to all be accountable and put their names and their identifying things, very often, I mean, we've not really encountered anything like that happening before, but 100% we do want to get moderation in. As I'm scrolling down, I can see 31 different new messages, but unfortunately, I will not be able to reply to all of them. Ludmila says how to make a moving background. Very simple, just add a GIF. You can add GIFs to Wakelet or GIFs, however you like to say it. And before I get distracted and go on, I'm going to jump into some of my favorite examples of collaboration in Wakelet. How does that sound, James?
Yeah, would you like me to show maybe a bit of a, what's the word I'm thinking of? A bit of spaces.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah, missed a whole chunk there. Yeah, of course. No, go for it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So yeah, cheers, Ms. If you have any more questions about this or anything about to show now, use that Q&A box. We'll try to get to them as best we can. I know there's been quite a lot coming through. But yeah, I was real quick wanted to show you how you can kind of collaborate on much larger projects inside of Wakelet with our one of our latest features, which is spaces. So with this, collection here, this is very good as it's kind of like very, very fast paced, very, very good to gather information and resources quite fast. But it's all as a group. It's not individual on an individual basis. How that would work is in spaces. If I go to my home area now, you will see that I've got these little circles on the left-hand side here, which are in fact spaces. So think of spaces as workspaces. Workspace is kind of like this here. You have your home area. I can now separate my home area from my other parts of life. So I could have one that's about me. I could have my book reviews. I could have a space for my class, and so on and so on. And they're so easy to create. And again, this is more for larger group projects. So as an example, I'll go ahead and create one now. I'll click create space, that little plus on the left-hand side. And I can call this a class A history assignment. Like so. I can then go and add an image too. Let's type in history. There we go. And then in the space, I can go ahead and start inviting people. So I'll move this image a bit, click done. And go ahead and make that correction and go ahead and click create. So I've created this space now. And again, this is fully collaborative and it's its own workspace under your profile. You don't need to set up anything with a new email address, all under the same email. And it's as quick as that to set up. So the difference is, in this instance, I want all of my students now to create their own collections. So like I said in the past one, that's more of a group project in a collection, all answering the same question inside of that. Whereas now I'm going to set the task to my students to all create a collection on the history assignment. So we could say ancient Rome. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and click on members and start inviting my class. So if I go ahead and click invite members now, I can copy this link and invite my students. In this case, I'm going to invite Misbah. So Misbah, let me know if you get that. And if you could go ahead and create a collection as I show through this. So as Misbah's creating a collection, I'll show you how easy it is from the student side as well. So they'll open this link up. And within seconds, they will join the space. All they need to do is click create a student account, and they'll be inside of that space within seconds. If you're working with your colleagues, they can go ahead and create a Wakelet account, and they'll join that space as well. But simple as clicking create student account, and then they'll use single sign-on to sign in with Google or Microsoft. So whichever one they use, literally, I think it's just one click, possibly 2 clicks, and then they'll be inside that space ready to create a collection. And this is what they'll see in the collections area. So just like any other user now, they can go in and click create a new collection all around their assignment piece. So I could talk about, let's just say ancient Rome assignment. There we go. Again, I could add a cover image. And then I can start adding content. So inside of this as an assignment, you could make it a presentation. It could be a portfolio. In this instance, it's more of a storytelling piece where they can go and gather artifacts from the web all around ancient Rome. So as an example, I'm going to look at YouTube and go for ancient Rome. And I'll add a few links in here. So as the student, I can go ahead and grab this YouTube video. I can go ahead and add an article if I want to. So let's go ahead and find an article too. And you can see they can tell a really nice piece now, create their own assignment inside of Wakelet. Let's go and get an article now, ancient Rome. Let's go and grab this one from history.com. And inside of here, now I can add my own stuff. And again, they can go ahead and add text. They can link to their PDFs, add images, create their own videos explaining it. Again, of course, I'll show this text. Facts about ancient Rome. Let's go ahead and add some bullet points if you wanted to as well. But you can see this could be a really nice story piece where they're gathering artifacts all around ancient Rome or anything, any assignment, adding those artifacts, those pieces of content, along with their own words to tell a really nice story and assignment. And once they're done, they click done, and you'll see it inside of the space now. So As the teacher, you will see all of these collections inside of here. So you'll see this one by myself. Misbah, hopefully he's creating a collection. His will pop up here saying created by Misbah, and then so on and so on. So you'll, at the end of the day, have all these assignments all in one place for you to look through, which is really, really awesome. And again, it's super easy to set up within seconds, and they can all join with 2 clicks and start creating their assignments together. Misbah, have you created your collection yet?
I'm on it, James, but you just continue.
Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, and then the beauty of this is all a private space as well. So in this workspace for your class, everything is default private. So they can join in when you've invited them, and no one else outside of this space can see it. As you can see, this is a private collection. Only you and the students inside will see it. And you'll see all of your members inside of here as well. If you refresh this, hopefully Misbah's in here. You'll see all of your students pop up here. You can click into them, and you'll see all of the collections that I've loaded as well. But if you wanted to make it public for any reason, for example, I've seen a few people, tech coaches and educators, using it as a place to store their remote learning resources. You can go ahead and make that public. So as a team, you can go ahead and create collections on like I said, resources about remote learning or anything, and then go ahead and make it public for others to access as well. So if you want to, go ahead and click on the space settings or profile unpublished, and you can go ahead and make this public for everyone to see, which is really awesome. So again, it starts off private, so that's perfect for your class. But if you're working with colleagues and you want to make it seen by a wider audience and other colleagues, then go ahead and make it public, and you'll be able to see it here. This is how the profile looks. You can go ahead and edit that as well. So that is Spaces in a quick demo. Are there any questions around that? I'll have a look in the chat. Let's have a look in here. So looks like a lot of people like Spaces. Yeah, is it auto saved? Someone's asking. Or it says it is auto saved. More of a comment. Yes, as Dave says, it is auto save in collections, in Spaces. Everything is saved in real time. So don't worry if your students are joining, creating assignments. It is saved by the millisecond, so they won't lose anything.
I'm sorry for the delay there, James. I've just been busy answering so many questions.
No
but you should be able to find my collection. It doesn't have any items in it, but you should be able to find my collection there now.
No worries. There we go. Yeah, seeing here, that's what I wanted to say. You'll see each student or each colleague that's created a collection. It'll say created by next to that collection. So all these will be different. And then in members, you'll see that you have different members in here as well. And then just like a collection and permissions, you can go ahead and remove them. I won't remove you this time, Misbah. And you can go ahead and make them an admin. So I'll make Misbah an admin, meaning that he has control, just like I do, on the entire space.
We have a quick question here from Jennifer, who asks, what's the difference between a collection and a space? Okay, so imagine a collection as a place where you can add loads of different links and content. And a space is a place where you can add those collections. So some people see spaces as like a folder almost that you can organize your collections into, but most people see a space as a way that you can create this environment, this learning environment, where you can invite your students or anybody into it, and then you can create collections within that space. So super simple there. Phil asks, whilst the space is private, can students see each other's collections in the space? Yes, Phil. By nature, spaces are private areas, so they're kind of locked off, if you imagine, like gated. So it's a really safe space for your students. When you make a space public, all that means is that the collections, the space will become like a profile. People can go and visit it. So let's say if you have a class and you've created a space for them on this particular project, and then you want to share that project with somebody else, but you don't want them to contribute, then you can make that space public and share it. Sorry, everybody, there are so many questions, which is always a good thing. And there's lots and lots of comments as well. So I'm just going through them, trying to like collect them. We will try and answer as many as we can, but it's not going to be all of them, unfortunately. It's just little old me and little old James here. We'll have to bring Callum into the next time, I think, and just get him on his keyboard answering all of these.
Well, yeah.
But whilst you answer some of the questions, James, I'm going to jump into some really awesome examples of collaboration on Wakelet. So let me share my screen one more time. Second. Okay. Just whilst I'm in here as well, you can see that this is the space that James just invited me to. I just accepted the invitation by clicking on the link, clicking yes. and then I could create my own collection in here. So this is a closed off area for Class A history assignment. And imagine if you send this link to 30 of your students, they can all be creating their collections and collaborating from within those collections as well. So it's super useful. You can see on the side. Yes.
Those boxes are visible again, apparently. So there's one in the top right that I can see. And is there any
Very
more?
Annoying glitch. I can assume, yeah, there should. Hold on a moment.
That is such an annoying glitch.
Okay, hopefully that should be a little bit better.
Yeah, they're all at the bottom now, so hopefully that won't impede anyone's view.
Well, I do apologize, but you should be able to see the top half of my screen now where all the action's happening anyway. But yeah, I'm inside a space here, and you can see on the left, I've got a whole bunch of awesome spaces here, which I'm a part of, one of which is Class A History. Okay, cool. So I'm going to run through a few amazing examples now, because now that you know how to create a collaborative collection and a space, you're probably thinking, okay, what do I do with this? I mean, you're teachers, you're not thinking that, but I'm going to try and give you a little bit of inspiration. Bear in mind, there are a lot of questions which you've asked, and I know that we've run through this quite quickly, but we've got so many different kinds of support materials out there on online. So you can just find out on YouTube. You can just type in how to create a Wakelet space, and it will pop up with a tutorial from us. But in the meantime, let's go and take a look at some awesome examples of collaboration. Okay, so this is one of my favorite. This collection, this project happened in the first lockdown in the UK back in the summer. And what we found was that even though the team were working together really hard, collaborating really well, we were really missing the social aspect of being together and sharing our stories and sharing, even just something as simple as lunch. So what we did is we created this, this profile here called Wakelet at Home. And what we did is every day of lockdown up to day 60, and then we did another one on day 80 as well. Every day we added content, we added links, and we just shared a collection out to the team on Microsoft Teams, Slack, whichever we were using, and everybody could click on that and then contribute. So if I look on day 59, for example, I can find a little recap of what the day was like. It's almost 2 straight months in lockdown. We've got some funny memes here, and we've got some awesome videos of things which people are enjoying, some cakes that people have made. We've got a plant that somebody was growing. Marcus, I knew it was Marcus as soon as I saw it. And it's a really amazing way of people being able to stay up to date on what's happening. There's James with his little dog. This was really powerful because we just didn't have that human communication, that human interaction. And we used Wakelet to be able to stay connected. So if you're not even thinking of using the collaboration feature in a academic sense, this is amazing because there are a few different residual skills that students learn while doing this. Things like digital storytelling, things like digital citizenship. When you just send them that link and say, whatever it is that you've been doing this week or today that you find is fun, that you wanted to share, you can just share it. It could be a video of something that they found interesting. It could be a picture of their pets or something that they've cooked. It could be their favorite song, anything that they like, they can share in there. And then it becomes this amazing legacy. Oh my God, he's too cute. It becomes this amazing little legacy of things that, memories basically. So I really love this. And at the end of it, when all of this is, over, we can look back and say, oh my gosh, I can't remember. I remember that happened in lockdown. That's crazy. So that's just one example of using Wakelet in a non-academic sense. But in a way, it is kind of academic because of all the skills that your students learn as well. Okay, moving on. We've got this one collection. Just wait for it to load one moment. So this is another really simple, we're taking really simple steps here. This is a collection created by Lisa Highfill. And all she did was she said to her class that she wants them to create images on Adobe Spark. And these images should be of a young person or somebody that they think has made a difference in the world. And so you have these really amazing visual Adobe Spark creations here. And this is in the mood board view, by the way. And the students can click on them and they can discover them, they can search them. And it's just an amazing way for you to very, very quickly get students collaborating on one task, on the same task. So I really love this just because of how visual it is. The next collection, which I'm going to show you, bear with me a moment whilst it loads. I'm going to click on these actually very quickly just to get them loaded up before I get there. Okay, there we go. So this one's done by the amazing Tisha Poncho, and her students, I know that we had a lot of questions today about student portfolios, and I love student portfolios. I think that's probably my favorite thing that students do on Wakelet. I know that Batul has an incredible portfolio, and if you can hear me, Batul, in the chat, now would be a great time to share that and share everybody. So what Tisha does is, with her class, she's created a sub-collection challenge. So this is a collection. She shared the link out to her students, and she's offered some really simple instructions here. Use the collaboration link given via Classroom, click the Edit Collection button in Wakelet, and then click the green sign to add a new sub-collection. Now, this is important. Sub-collections are only available to students who do not have a Wakelet account, students who are logging in, not logging on, students who are joining collections without an account. If you do have an account, there's no need for a sub-collection because you can just create a collection on your account and copy and paste it. Add the URL link to your digital portfolio and then add a PDF URL of your public resume. So her students have been able to go and actually add all of their digital portfolios into this collection so that they're all there in one place. And all Tisha's had to do is just send one link to them. So as a way of gathering all of that awesome stuff which your students are doing, there's nothing easier than just sending a link. Whether they have a Wakelet collection or not, they're going to be able to add their content to it. So it's really, really powerful. Okay, moving on. This one's really cool. So we did a webinar once about remote learning back when the pandemic started. And what we wanted to do was add share a collaborative link in the chat. So we did that, and 182 of you all contributed to this. So this is amazing because we wanted to get feedback and your ideas on any resources or tips that you might have on how to kind of get through remote learning. And the results were amazing. You know, we got some incredible incredible notes here that people had taken during the webinar. We've got some really awesome comments. Now, because you're not actually plugged into this account, you can't see who's added it. But when I'm actually in it, as in I've joined this collection, I'll be able to see who's added stuff. But this became an amazing resource list of some incredible resources which people were sharing about remote learning. So the way to use this, I guess, would say that if you did if you're doing a lesson, or if you're in class and you're doing a webinar or an online lesson, you could literally at the end of the lesson just share one link and say, please let me know what you've learned through this link. And the students will click on that link and they'll join it and they'll get it. They'll just be able to add any information or any feedback that they've got. An amazing exit ticket strategy there. Now, this one, again, is one of my favorite collections ever because this takes things and makes them a little bit more sophisticated. This is really creative. So Edward van der Sample put this collection together on the civil rights movement, and he wanted his students to think outside of the box and to give some amazing responses to the things that they felt about the civil rights movement. So he created this collection. He added some context. He added some instruction. He made the students watch a few videos. He added a quick Flipgrid video here that explained what the a second, I clicked immersive reader there. He added a quick Flipgrid video that explained what the actual task was and some instructions. And then he linked it to a student response Wakelet. And this student response Wakelet is absolutely amazing. The students added their own Flipgrid videos to this collection with their own responses about the subject. So the task was, what does sit down to stand up mean in the context of the civil rights movement? So the students could record these awesome videos explaining how they felt it meant. So really interactive, really, really engaging. And obviously that nice app smash with Flipgrid as well to get that video content going. Absolutely incredible. I love this. Now, another awesome fun activity that you can do with your students through collaboration is this, something really simple, a walk-up song. So Tammy, who I think she's in the chat, Tammy put this amazing collection together called Walk-Up Song. And this collection was put together and shared with her students with this awesome instruction here. And she shared the link with the students and basically said this, a really nice prompt. If you had one song to play every time you entered a room for the rest of your life, what song would you choose? And the students got super creative. They added all of these awesome YouTube videos of their songs. And then the students could go in and it sparked a conversation because they'd say, you know, Eagle Hotel California, you know, why did you add that? And then you could spark this amazing conversation between classmates. So something as simple as that is a really good way to get your students understanding what collaboration on Wakelet means before you move into the more sophisticated options. Okay, there's a few more here which I'll show you. Bear with me a second. This one here. So another fun activity is happy birthday. So what we've found on Wakelet since we launched collaboration is that, especially now with remote learning, is that people are celebrating their birthdays on Wakelet in an awesome way. So this is really cool. If it's your student's birthday, send a collaborative link to everybody except them. Okay, then your students can all add their birthday wishes and messages and little pictures or selfies that they have with each other. And then once they've all done that, you generate a new code, and then literally just share the collection with that student. And then they get an amazing, amazing kind of list of all these awesome birthday messages. I think this is a teacher as opposed to a student, but you get the idea. They can add images, birthday messages. It's really, really awesome. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, James. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and if anybody has any comments or feedback or anything like that, please just let us know. Let me see. What was your favorite example there, James?
To be honest, Misbah, I was too busy answering the questions. But I do
I'm
love
not
that
going to ask you a question
idea.
when I come.
I think that's great.
Fiona asks, is immersive reader an automatic feature? Yes, 100%. So accessibility is really important to us, inclusivity. You will find that on every piece of text item on Wakelet that you will have immersive reader in it. And also with Flipgrid videos that are added to Wakelet, you can click the immersive reader button and get a transcript of the video there as well. Any other questions, James?
Yeah, I'd like to show something real quick. I can't remember who asked this question or gave an idea really. It's with spaces, and I suppose I've not really thought of this. I don't know if you have, Misbah. Inside a space, if you create it, it could be split up into like 4 teams or different classes.
Yeah.
So what the comment was in a space, if it's history assignments, instead of adding everyone to one collection or the opposite, everyone creating their own collections, you can meet in the middle and actually create, let's say, go ahead and create 2. We could say let's say team 1. And then we could also create another one, that's team 2. So then you could go ahead and inside of here, let's say team 2, go ahead and invite them. So you could invite, say, 15 students on team 1, and then 15 students on team 2 as well. So I thought that was a pretty nice idea. It's not always everyone creating their own collection, or everyone joining one collection.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be, it's up to you. It's very, very flexible. Got a question here about, from Christina, who says, how do students log into the space? Do they click on the invitation link? Yep, it's as simple as that. You don't have to manually add them. You just create the space will generate a link, and then you can just add them. You can just send that link to them and they'll be able to just join it really, really quickly. I think Yolanda asked a question as well. Is there a cap on the amount of spaces or collections that you have? You'll be very pleased to know that there is absolutely no limits on anything. You can create as many spaces as you like. You can create as many collections as you like, and you can add as many items as you like to those collections. I wouldn't add too many because then, kind of defeats the purpose, but there's absolutely no limitations. The only limitation that we have is when it comes to PDF files. I think there's was it 300 megabyte, James, something like that?
I'll go with that. Yeah, it's a pretty big PDF.
Very few people reach it. Yeah, that's the only thing that there's a limit on. But everything else is completely free and unlimited. Let's see. Mohammed asks, how can I add audio files? So you can add audio files through Flipgrid. So when you click on the Flipgrid link, Flipgrid's amazing because it's not only videos that you can directly record to Wakelet, you can also upload video into Wakelet as well. You can also do screen recordings, and you can also record video. I think it's up to 10 minutes of video that you can record and 10 minutes of audio. But yeah, you can add audio and all that other amazing mixed media as well. Sidra says, I hope it's not limited like Padlet. No, it's not Padlet. It's not limited. Let's take a look. Elena says, can we duplicate our own collections? Ooh, that's an interesting one, James. Can you copy your own collections? I'm sure you can, right?
Copy your own collections, yeah. You can copy your own collections. Someone asked about spaces as well. Not yet, but maybe in the future. But yeah, if you create an amazing kind of template or like a newsletter or lesson plan, and you think, oh, I want to keep all of this but add to it, then go ahead and turn copy on and then copy that collection for you to build on as well.
Yep, really simple. Let's take a look. Some people are asking, how did you add the background image? So when you're in a collection that's your own, you can click edit collection, and then in the top left, there's a little gear icon. When you click that, you'll have a few options. One of them is changing the background image. And then there was one more interesting one as well. Robin wanted to know a little bit more about bookmarks and what bookmarks mean. So don't get too confused. Bookmarks, they're not the bookmarks in your browser. Bookmarks are just any item that you save to Wakelet. So when you're in a collection and you click add a bookmark, what we do is we show you all of the different items that you've added to Wakelet. And you can search them, you can filter them. So it's just adding existing items that already appear in other collections. Or you can save a collection to Wakelet without adding it to a bookmark and then create a collection later. Marina says, Wakelet is my #1 tool and I love it so, so much. Thank you. If anybody, by the way, if anybody has any technical issues, which you shouldn't, but everybody runs into them, just email support@wakelet.com. Or you can ask a question in the chat box as well. When I say the chat box, I don't mean this one, I mean the one in your home area. It's a real life person and we'll be able to solve all of your issues that you might have. Let's take a look.
I'm dropping a bunch of links into the chat, by the way. Everyone's asking about so many features. So I put the Chrome extension in there, or the extension on Wakelet. I've linked to a blog that is about, I think it's five hidden features on Wakelet that you may not know about. So that includes copy, and it includes a few more things as well. And then there's another one. It's moved. I've lost it, Misbah. It's a good one as well.
You'll have to add it again.
I found it again. So Ellen asked, once you've made a collection public, can you still add additional information to it? Yes. No matter what visibility is, no matter who's added to the collection, you can always go back and make edits and even delete if you want to.
Yeah, imagine a collection as like a living, breathing, rolling collection. There's only an end to it if you want there to be. Otherwise, you can keep adding to it. And the great thing is it's like sharing a link to a website. You know, you don't have to necessarily invite people to it. Once you create a collection and make it public, you can just copy and paste it wherever you want. And you can also embed collections directly into your LMS platform as well, which is really, really useful. Okay, I think we're done, James. I think that there are so many other questions. Some of them are a little odd, but some of them make a lot of sense. But we will be sending this recording out to everybody as well. So don't worry about that. And you will be receiving a certificate of attendance in your email along with some other content, right, James?
Yes.
So yeah, that's it for now. We hope that you really enjoyed this. We know that we probably covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, but I just wanted to say thank you all again so much for taking 50 minutes out of your time to join us. We really, really appreciate it. And stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter. We did an amazing announcement the other day. I wore a suit for the first time in 3 years, maybe. So it was pretty important. We've got this incredible award going. So we've decided to create a community impact award where we will be awarding $10,000 to a person in the community who has had a positive impact on their community. So we've got a whole bunch of amazing judges lined up, and I wish you all the best luck. Oh, yeah, it's right there on Twitter. So go ahead. You can find all of the information that you want there. Retweet as well, because the more people that join, the much more fun it is and the more we get to amplify those incredible stories. But this is really a response to us hearing all of the amazing stories and the really moving stories that we've received over the past 18 months. And we want to shine a spotlight, because I think that being an educator is one of the most difficult, challenging jobs, but I also know that you all love it. And you all find it really, really rewarding. So, we want to showcase that, and we've got a $10,000 prize plus $2,500 times 2 for 2 runner-up prizes as well. Anyway, I'm babbling on, James. I believe it is time to unwind. Thank you all so much for joining. James, do you have anything that you'd like to say before you go?
No, just a huge thank you for everyone joining. I think we enjoy these a lot, and we hope you do too. And yeah, hopefully you've learned at least one thing. I always say on these, whether it's about spaces, collaborate on a collection. There's amazing examples that this was showed. But no, above all, thank you so much for taking 50 minutes out of your day to learn a bit about Wakelet. We appreciate it.
And I know that a lot of you have questions which haven't been answered today, and that makes me sad. But we do have so much support content out there. You can Google it. You can check us out on YouTube, on Twitter. If you can't find the answer to one of your questions, just drop us a DM or contact support@wakelet.com and you'll have all of your answers there. But thank you all, everybody who stayed up late to watch this. We really appreciate it. We'll leave the chat going for just 5 minutes, just while you catch up on any links or communicate between yourselves. But until next time, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Goodbye.